What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cool Fred's Garage. Today on Cool Fred's Garage, I'm gonna be installing the parking brake cable, the Wilwood parking brake cable for my rear disc brake conversion that I recently did. So, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome to Cool Fred's Garage. I'm Cool Fred. The car I'm working on is my 1973 Chevy Impala. So, the blue heavy Chevy. So I've been doing, so I'm pretty much wrapping, getting the car. It's almost to the point where I'm wrapping it up. I just got a few things to do to it. But this right here, for you guys who are new to the channel, this video is a series of videos of pretty much where I take apart the rear end, disassemble it, I measure it up, figure out what everything I need for the rear disc brake conversion. So I was converting from drum brakes to disc brakes. So I got a Wilwood kit that I put on there. So if you want to see more details about that, you can check out some of the previous videos in the series. So another thing I did was a little bit of suspension work. I did a little bit of repairs, had to repair a pinion seal for the rear diff and things like that. So basically just trying to get everything knocked out while I'm in the back of the car. And the final thing to do is to get this parking brake kit in there. So that's what I'm talking about today, the parking brake kit. It'll probably be maybe a little bit of how-to, but probably like an overview of what everything I had to do. So I may not be able to get a lot of footage, but I'll try to get as much as I can, at least point out the main things to get you up and going. Alright, so over here on my table here, I got a parking brake cable kit. So this is a universal kit. I gotta figure out what the part number is for the kit, but I do got some instructions. But this kit is from Quick Performance, so I'm not sure if this is the exact Wilwood kit or if it's a kit that they have that works with the Wilwood system. So I mean, all the pictures and descriptions and the instructions are Wilwood, but a lot of times companies will make a kit that's similar to, you know, the kit that they'll make a product that's very close to what Wilwood sells. So I'm not sure, you know, what I have here, but you know, I was under the impression that, you know, this is the Wilwood kit, but this right here is supposed to be compatible for what I got. I mean, it looks pretty much the same otherwise, but so this is what I got. So I'm going through the instructions. So I've done a combination of reading through the instructions and also, you know, looking at other people on YouTube to see what they did and what they came up with. So I kind of sort of have a plan of how, you know, I'm gonna get this laid out, how I'm gonna install it. But but you know, I'm pretty much just gonna be doing it as I go. So I got I am gonna be using a combination of some of the factory system and in conjunction with this kit here. All right, so out here on the car here, just a quick glance of some things and stuff that we got going on here. So this is the 12.19 inch 4-piston caliper rotor kit. It does have the integrated parking brake shoes in there. So that's this kit right here. So I'm gonna be taking this plug out to adjust the inner parking brake drum, because that's pretty much step one right there. and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But there's a little bit about, you know, a little bit of what's going on up under here. So we got the brake kit in, new brake lines ran, and all that good stuff. So a few things, there's a few things that I've done. So recently got the brakes bled. So one of the more recent things I did before I got the rear brakes bled and all of that stuff is I replaced the proportioning valve. So the proportioning valve is a important part of going from drum brakes to disc brakes in the back. You need to upgrade that. All right, here we go. So I'm about to start with what they refer to as step one, or based on all the research I've done, they say you want to do this first. So you don't want to miss out on step one, because step one is important, because you want to get this adjustment right here right first. That way when you start getting ready to get your cables and start testing to make sure you got tension and stuff, you're good to go back here in the back. So what I'm referring to is just this adjustment sleeve. There's a little, these are the instructions here, but there's like a little screw with some, like a little sprockets on there, and you can move it back or forth, and that'll lengthen or shorten this sleeve here, and that pretty much is how much pressure, basically how much length or how short it is to actually, you know, for the pads, or the shoes rather. So basically you should adjust that until you have just a little bit of drag on it. So I'm gonna be using this tool right here. Hopefully this fits in there good. I mean, it's pretty much a standard brake shoe adjustment tool. So I'm gonna try to use this right here, and I'm gonna see if I can get that to where it needs to be. All right, so from what I understand is, like right here, I could turn this just a little bit. Pretty much what I'm hearing now is that's just the pads. You kind of hear, like, this surface is painted, but a lot of this paint is gonna come off once I start to dry the car and break in the pads, and then it'll be just this nice finish here on the hat and around the sides. But where the pads contact, that's gonna wear off. So basically I need to turn this until I have just a little bit of drag back and forth, and then I'll be good. All right, so this right here is the rubber plug that's in there. So I just took that off. I'm not sure we can see anything in there. Well, actually we can see it right there. So that's right there is the adjustment knob I'm gonna be moving. I didn't realize my camera was gonna get that good of a picture of that, but so you can see that little sprocket there. So I'm gonna move that either in or out, up or down, to try to see what's gonna make it tighter. And once it kind of gets snug, I know I'm pretty much close, and I can back off 1 or 2 teeth, but I need to get it kind of, you know, they recommend you get it to where you got a slight drag when you're moving. All right, so I got the passenger side adjusted to where I feel comfortable. Now I'm over here on the driver's side, so pretty much gonna repeat those same steps. Get my my adjustment in there tight to where it's kind of, where it's got a slight drag on it. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then I'm gonna show you guys a trick that I found while I was doing. All right, so pretty much what I'm doing, I got my tool in here, and I'm just moving that little gear sprocket, and I'm also checking to make sure I'm getting it, checking the resistance here to see if it's getting snug. All right, so as you get that bad boy tight, what you're gonna feel, or as you get it kind of close to snug, you're gonna, like, as you turn this, you're gonna feel a little bit of a drag or a little bit of resistance, and then you can kind of determine whether you need to back off or not. So that kind of feels okay. I probably could go a little bit more, but what I'm gonna do is another trick you can do, or what I found little shortcut is if you find somewhere, because you don't want to, if you got things painted up under your ride, you don't want to scratch stuff up. But what you can kind of do, the bolt right there that attaches the brake assembly to the rear end housing, I kind of use that and lever up against it on this lever here, and I can kind of put a little pressure and kind of see about how much tension it takes to move that lever like back and forth. So I've also been doing that, and then I can kind of spin this right here and kind of see if it's basically stopping. So it's probably a little tricky to see this area right here, but that's basically the lever that basically puts the tension or basically spread the parking brake shoes apart. So, but using this right here in that area, that's one way I can kind of check. I kind of put it right here on one of the bolts that stick through the top part of the housing, and kind of just put a little tension on there, and then I can move my rotor so I can tell that it's working. So I'm kind of having to move it just a little bit, so I probably put just a little bit of tension on this screw and then just leave it alone. So I'm gonna try it one more time, see if it feels nice and snug. Then if I'm cool with the adjustment, I'm gonna move on to those parking brake cables, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do to get those routed. All right, so I got the cables laid out on the floor here, and they're pretty long. So basically what I need to do is just pretty much decide how they're gonna run up under the car, and a few things that I'm gonna use to kind of get them installed. But this is what I got over here on the table. So one of the first steps is actually running them through this right here, because this right here is actually what's going to connect to the lever back there on the drum brake assembly on the disc brake, which is this thing here. There's a lever back there that this right here is going to go through, but I got to run the cables through here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. So what they recommend you do is basically take your cables out of the sheathing. You take those out of the sheathing, and then you got this end here, and then you got this end here with this ball on it. So pretty much what you're gonna do is take this end of the cable and feed it through this hole right here. So you just push it through there. And then this part right here is going to end up like that. And once it's all the way in, it's going to be inside like that there. And then this right here is what's going to go over your parking brake, that little lever that's on the back of the drum housing. All right, so the next thing I got to do is pretty much figure out where I'm gonna run this right here, and what I'm gonna do about this right here. So I think I'm gonna do pretty much what a lot of people do, is they use this block here, and they'll take it off of this fitting here, and they'll end up drilling a hole through it to let it slide on their stock existing piece. So I think I'm gonna do pretty much that same thing. So I'm gonna go out here and kind of look at it, what I got going on in the car, and I need to figure out how much I need to drill this hole in this block. So I'm gonna take a look at it real quick. All right, so pretty much right here on this vehicle right here, this is the original. This comes from the pedal, so I'm gonna use this right here. This right here, the block that comes in the kit, and it's got some little Allens in there where you can adjust and tighten down the cable. But So pretty much the theory that I was thinking about was reusing, because there's a little adjustment screw right here that I can take off. So I'm probably gonna use this same rod. This right here, almost like it'll thread on here. Like if I try to thread it on here, I can thread that on there, but it kind of gets a little snug. So maybe the threads are a little bit smaller, but it probably would work. But what I'm gonna do is just kind of make this hole a little larger so it slides through there, kind of similar to this piece right here, this factory piece here, and then I can use this to adjust it. So I'm pretty much gonna do that, and then I'm probably gonna kind of figure out, try to mount that adjustment thing either here or here. So that's gonna be the plan, and then I can kind of figure out how I'm gonna run the cables. But as far as the cables go, I'm thinking about using like the existing areas there that's on the frame to kind of run it through. See, as far as the cable goes, you can see it's pretty long. It goes pretty much up to the front of the car, but it's gonna get cut down somewhere, probably right in this area here. So I did kind of map out a place where I was gonna put the this bracket right here that we were just talking about. So that's gonna go somewhere about, well, actually it's gonna go this direction, but it's gonna go somewhere about right here. So I was pretty much debating what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna use to attach it. So I decided I'm gonna use a rib nut kit. My first time trying this, but that seems to be, you know, one of the better options, because the car has like onto the floor, kind of under the floor for extra brakes and stuff. It's got like some kind of like some areas that doesn't go through the floor, but it's kind of like a, I guess like a box section of sheet metal, I guess for strength, and also they use it to attach, like that's where some of the other like parking brake hooks and stuff were connected. So it's basically like a section under the car, between, I guess, the main floor pan and just the body of the car. It's probably maybe an inch and a half of space in there, but you can't really get in there to put a nut in there. It's just a few kind of holes for like slots for different accessories and things, I guess, that the car may need depending on the options. But the other night I was out here, what I did was actually, I kind of just basically took this and kind of figured out where I wanted to put it at, found a good place to put it, and I kind of just lined it up under the car, and I took my Sharpie and kind of marked the holes, and then I kind of went center the holes with this little, just like a center punch, or a center, basically what you would use for to get a drill bit started. So it's basically like an automatic center punch is what they refer to it as. So I did that, and I'm ready to drill a little bit of holes. But I decided I was going to use this rib nut kit. This is from Doyle and from Fright. So I got that the other day. I got the Inside Track Club. So and it happened to actually be on deal. I think this thing was like $34, $35 or something like that. So so I'm using the 1/4x20, 1/4-20 bolts, thread pitch, or whatever you want to call it. So the thing I did, so yeah, this is the Doyle kit. So that's how it looks, and in there you got a variety. You got a couple metric, you got like 3 metric sizes and 3 standard sizes. So that's the one, that purple one there. So I've already changed out the ends and everything. So now I just gotta drill a hole in the car. So I've already had these sitting to the side. So I took so basically I'm trying to figure out what size hole to put in the body of the car. I pretty much figured it out. Because I want to say this right here, you can go in thousandths of an inch, but I think it measures like 8.6, 8.7 millimeters. But my normal drill bits that I have here at the house, I'm gonna show you guys that in a second. All right, so this right here is a Ryobi drill bit set from like Home Depot. But pretty much the problem I ran into the other day when I was trying to figure this out was one of my closest drill bits in this kit was too small, and my next setup was actually too big. So I think it was maybe like the 5/16, and my next size up is 11/32. So pretty much what it was when I was measuring, because actually when you put these rivet nuts in, you want them to be able to grip really good. So I didn't want to drill a hole that's too big. So I ran into an issue where I needed some drill bits that were in between. So while I was at work the other day, I grabbed my, this is more of a master drill bit set. You got more choices in there. So you can tell, because actually a lot of these drill bits in this kit right here, which this Ryobi kit is a real good kit. I haven't had a lot of problems out of them. But a lot of these in here are duplicates. So you get 2 and 3 of one size, like they're like 3 1/4 inch size, a few of the 1/16. So various sizes, even though you see a variety of bits. This kit right here still has like way more bits in it, maybe twice as many bits. But versus this kit, like until you get to the bigger sizes, a lot of them are duplicates. So I got 2 and 3 of the same drill bit. But that's good for like if you're doing construction work, stuff like that. Maybe, you know, using you going through some of the drill bits, and you, like if you break one or something, you just go grab another size. But sometimes working on cars, you need something a little bit more fine-tuned. So this Irwin drill bit here, I got a little bit more, I guess, you know, more options. So I got like maybe 2 or almost 3 drill bits that kind of fit in the range that I need to be in. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick that one out. So I'm gonna go ahead and remeasure everything just to make sure. So basically I'm taking this right here, and I'm gonna be measuring like the outside diameter of this right here, because that's actually what's gonna fit through the hole. So basically that hole needs to be just a little bit bigger than this right here, but it doesn't need to be like too tight, and it also don't need to be too big. So that's pretty much what I'm shooting for. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out what that is, and then get the hole drilled out, and then hopefully I can get that thing secured in there. Then I can kind of continue on and figure out what I need to do to go to the next step. All right, so pretty much what I did so far, started out with I believe this is a 1/8 drill bit. So I did that just to kind of make a pilot hole right here. So and also, so you want to kind of go a little slow, take your time, but then you can also like see how deep. See, that's like the next metal piece in the floor, and then I can kind of put my hand there, and then I can pretty much like see. So in this area right here, you probably got like maybe a good inch and a quarter on these areas here, and you kind of see where they're kind of like welded to the body. So basically the seat attaches like there's 2 screws here, then there's 2 screws right here. So that's where the front bench seat attaches up under here to this structure. Then you can see there like a few little holes. So I pretty much got this right here for my car cover. That's for my car cover. And then I want to say like this slot right here was one of the, well actually it was this one, was where one of the factory parking brake cables, it's like a little hook. It's basically like a little hook mechanism, kind of like what's right there. So it's like a little hook with what the original like cable went through. So pretty much, and then also what I did, I kind of fit my piece there. So it's kind of good to kind of check, make sure that, you know, your holes and stuff are going to be center. So I haven't done that one yet, but I can see like where I put that little dimple there with the centering punch. I can tell that's kind of going to be center. So I'll go ahead and drill my other pilot hole just to get it started, and then I'm going to use this drill bit right here to make a bigger hole. Alright, so that bigger drill bit made a bit of a mess up under here, but I got a nice nice clean hole there. I did have to, it was a couple little burrs that I had to kind of file out. So I took that file and put right there. So, but you see this insert here goes right in there, no problem. So I'm finna go ahead and lock it in there and see with the tool and see what I got. Alright, so the first one came out good, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the second one in there. Alright, so I got the rib nuts in here. They went in nice and smooth. No issues there, so I'm starting to put the screws in here. So that's a pretty good option using the rib nuts, but I was pretty much thinking about some other options. So basically, I mean, I do have a tap and die set also, so pretty much you could, another option is you could grab your tap and die set and kind of center up your holes, and you can make some threads, and that should work just as good. But you know, that's another alternative. The only thing, the sheet metal, it's probably maybe about 1/8 of an inch thick. I'm just judging by like kind of these holes here, because I can kind of see about how thick they are. You would only maybe, you know, if you tap it, you probably only cut like maybe 2.5 to 3 threads in there, but that should be enough to hold it. But this option right here worked out pretty good, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this snugged on down. Alright, so I decided I was gonna use one of the factory locations to run the cable through, but it's kind of just a metal hole, so I'm gonna show you guys what I did to help that out. So I got this grommet kit here. I've had it for a while for just different stuff, but I got different size grommets, and you can kind of, it comes with one of these little X-Acto knives, so you can kind of trim out the inside of it to where you want it. But so as far as these cables go, this is the driver's side right here. I just gotta put it back in there. But like right here, that's where I put a grommet right there in that factory location. That way, as this cable, the outer side of this cable, the sheathing or whatever, doesn't get damaged over time by that metal. So this right here is basically just gonna fit through that hole. So that's kind of just one thing I did. I'm gonna use that factory location hole, and I've actually got the other side attached right there. So this side right here is attached. It's snugged down to this right here. It's just on the passenger side. You can see I already got my grommet installed on this side, but over here on the passenger side, I just kind of got to figure out how I'm gonna route it.